What's up, guys? As you can see, today we're going to be talking about the one thing you must have to become a wealthy Forex trader. Thank goodness for me, it's not good handwriting. So that's not one thing that's necessary. But what I want you to do right now is think back to when you first started trading, or maybe you're a beginner now. What do you want out of your trading? For me, I know it was trying to get out of a situation. I was working a construction job that I'd worked for the past 5 years. I didn't really see a career in that. Not to mention, I didn't want to be outside in the elements every day, sunburnt every day that it was summer, cold as hell every day. I guess not as hell, cold as cold can get every day that it was winter. And it just wasn't a job that I saw myself in for the rest of my life. So I wanted to escape that situation. The other thing that I wanted was wealth. I wanted to have a way of creating some extreme wealth in my life, and I knew that roofing houses, the paychecks I was making from that were barely covering bills. I didn't want that financial stress any longer. That's one of the reasons I started trading. One of the reasons I started trying to learn how to become a profitable trader, and I'm sure your situation's very similar. Now, with that in mind, there are measurable things that we have to have in order to create a wealthy trading career. Some of those measurable parts of a wealthy trading career would be our ROI, the return on investment. We can definitely measure that throughout the year and see how we're doing. It's a great indication of whether we are trading correctly or trading not correctly. Are we making money or not making money? The ROI is measurable. The second thing we can measure is our probabilities, which would sound like probabilities. Spelled it weird, whatever. Which would be how often are we winning versus when we're losing? What is that winning percentage? Are we winning at 50%, 60%? What's our risk to reward ratio? The third thing that we can measure is our risk management. And although all three of these things are wildly important, these measurable aspects of our trading are not all we need. And the one thing that every trader that wants to become wealthy must have does not fall under these categories, although yes, you will have to have each of them. The one thing we're going to talk about in today's video, though, is something that is hardly ever discussed. And what that is mental and emotional toughness. If you do not have mental and emotional toughness, there's no way you can create any kind of wealth in trading. What I want to do in today's video is share with you 3 ways that you can become more mentally and emotionally tough in your trading. Welcome to another Blackboard lesson. We'll roll the disclaimer really quickly and we'll jump right in. See you in a second. Welcome back to another Blackboard lesson, guys. And what is the first thing we have to do in order to improve mental and emotional toughness? Well, just as with any other experiment, you need a constant. And what I mean by that is we need to figure out what is your pain tolerance. If we don't have a place to start, then we cannot improve, and we can't even examine our emotional toughness, our mental and emotional toughness. So what you have to do here is figure out how much pain can you actually tolerate before you become emotional, before you start to overreact or make bad decisions based on emotions instead of logic. And the way we do this is just by asking ourselves simple questions. The way I like to do this, especially in terms of the aspect of trading, is what would you be willing to risk? What would you be willing to lose? How much pain could you withstand going through on your account before you started to act emotional? Let's just do an example here and say you have a $10,000 account. Would you be willing to risk $200 of that account every time you place a trade? Would you only be willing to risk $100 and then start getting emotional? What is your opinion right now on this exact scenario? And if you don't have a $10,000 account, a $1,000 account, a $100 account, it does not matter what the starting balance is. Ask yourself what amount of money you'd be comfortable losing, and then you have to test that theory and see how comfortable you are actually losing that money. And I'm not saying go out and try this. I'm not saying go out and lose $200 to see if you're okay with losing $200, but you have to somehow see what your tolerance is. Once you find that pain tolerance, in order to increase your mental and emotional toughness, it is your job to stay within that pain tolerance. So let's say your pain tolerance allows for losses up to $100 per trade based on your specific financial situation. If you're willing to risk $100 per trade, then that means that is your pain tolerance, and that's where you need to stay. The way you do that is with risk management. Risk management is going to allow you to stay within that pain tolerance, which is going to, in turn, increase your mental and emotional toughness. Number 2 is preparation. I want you to think about giving a very important speech to a huge crowd of people. Just in general, you have to have a lot of emotional and mental focus and toughness in order to do something like that, right? Now, I want you to imagine doing it with absolutely no preparation. You just get up on stage and start talking about whatever subject they give you. That sounds terrifying to me, and I imagine it sounds terrifying to you as well, and it should be, because another way to improve your mental and emotional toughness is to prepare. Now I want you to think about that same exact situation, except now you've taken time to prepare for this moment over the past 4 weeks. You have a speech memorized completely. You have bullet points down in case you get lost at any point, and you're completely prepared for this speech. How much less nervous are you going to be, right? So the way we attack preparation is to, wait for it, prepare. And the way we prepare comes down to back testing. Same as with that speech. You go into the markets, no preparation whatsoever. You're just clicking buy and sell randomly because you want to make money, and the only way to make money is to be in trades. So you get in a lot of trades. You start to lose. You're not using good risk management. So instead of just losing $100, you lose $1,000. This is the cycle of doom that happens to so many new and struggling traders. And that's something I want to help you avoid with this video. So preparation is a key part in creating mental and emotional toughness in our trading. I want you to think about being in a UFC fight, not physically, like a metaphorical UFC fight. So you're in that fight and you don't have your hands up. Your hands are down the whole time. You have no defense. You're not using head movement whatsoever. How many times are you going to get punched? And how many of those punches is it going to take for you to just get knocked out? Depends on who you're fighting, but I would imagine not very many. You're probably getting knocked out very soon. Using risk management and having this mental and emotional toughness, using back testing, preparing for these types of situations is our defense. That is us with our hands up, using head movement, parries. We are using those things whenever we're in this metaphorical UFC fight if we have a mental and emotional toughness by correctly using risk management and preparing through the process of back testing. That's your defense. That's your hands up when the market's coming at you. And that's something that is absolutely necessary. And finally, number 3 is do not overreact. Overreacting is something that gets traders into trouble all the time, but the reason they overreact, ironically, is because the first 2 steps have not been taken. 90% of the time, if someone overreacts, it's because they don't have a good risk management plan. So they're moving their stop loss up or taking the trade off when they're in a little bit of a loss, or taking their trade off when they're just a little bit in profit instead of following their trading plan. They're overreacting by switching strategies when they've only lost 2 or 3 trades using one strategy. They're overreacting because they have not prepared by doing back testing and having that risk management plan to follow. So simply put, the way you keep from overreacting is by following the other rules. I'm going to put follow other steps, FOS. You follow the other steps, and that keeps you from overreacting. And with these 3 things, I promise you, you will greatly improve your mental and emotional toughness, which is one thing that every trader that is wealthy has, and that if you ever plan to be a wealthy trader, someone who's able to quit their job by trading in the Forex market, stock market, whatever financial market you're in, someone that eventually grows massive wealth from trading in financial markets without mental and emotional toughness, that will be impossible. But if you do master this, you take the 3 steps I've shown you in this video, then you have a greater chance, a much greater chance. You're almost inevitably going to have increased and appropriate mental and emotional toughness in your trading. That was another Blackboard lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed if you did. Follow us over on Instagram because we're coming out with these Blackboard videos 3 times a week over there, and I don't want you to miss any of them. Comment below if you enjoyed it or if you have any questions. If you're interested in some more advanced training, we do have a link below labeled EAP Training Program. In that program, I share a full training course of the strategies that I use on a daily basis. I share risk management ideas and my own personal risk management plan. A few of the tips and tricks that I have found over the past decade of my trading career to being more disciplined. I help you through this process of gaining mental and emotional toughness. And it is a complete mentorship program. If you have any questions, you just email me at the priority email address and I get back to you personally to help you along on your journey to trading success, journey to trading wealth. Any of you who are interested in that and you're ready to take your trading to the next level through a mentorship program, feel free to click EAP Training Program in the description. Otherwise, I hope you're subscribed here. Don't forget to click that like button. Follow us over on Instagram to make sure you never miss these Blackboard lessons. And I'll talk to you in the next video. See you soon.